Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to see what's wrong with this Pioneer SX-737. This SX-737 showed up locally today. Customer states that there is loud popping coming from the speakers when the receiver is set to Phono. He said it didn't happen on any of the other inputs, so that might mean that something's wrong with the Phono preamp. I'm going to plug this thing in, I'm going to see what I hear, and go from there. Alright. Turns on, all the lights are good, and the relay clicks. So far so good. Take a look at this thing though, folks. Really nice SX-737. It's in excellent condition. I don't see any scratches really on the faceplate. I see one burnt out light bulb in the dial face there. The only thing wrong with this faceplate is what happens to all of them. See, that's supposed to say mono. The silk screen on that glass just has a tendency to come off. You know, one really cool thing about the SX-737 is that it has this right here. It's got a microphone input, which, yeah, you could run a microphone, but you know what else you can run? You can run an electric guitar right into there. You can plug your guitar right into the mic port, and it will work. You'll be able to play your guitar through your speakers. And the other really cool thing about the SX-737 is that it is in a size class of its own, if you will. So the SX-535 and 636, they use the same size chassis. Then you've got the SX-737 on this chassis, which is slightly bigger. And then the 838, 939, and 1010, those are all on different chassis. So this thing is in a class of its own. There is only one Pioneer receiver in this generation that has this size chassis, and it's this one. Real quick, I can prove it. See? This is your 535 right there. It is smaller. The 737 is bigger. Alright, I plugged in speakers. I checked the remote speakers for stuff on here, and there was nothing, so let's turn the A speakers on. Nothing. Let's turn the volume up. Nothing. So now we get to play the fun game of wait for it to do the thing. And I don't know how long that's going to take, but hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. I'll go take a break and come back to this in a few minutes.
First, the FDA is expected to authorize a booster dose of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 12 to 15 sometime next week. And two new studies out today suggest the Johnson & Johnson vaccine should be helpful in fighting.
So I'm just listening to Mary Louise Kelly and Ari Shapiro tell me the world's on fire. And I've gotten two strange little pops out of this thing. Both have happened when it's switched to Phono. So I need to keep waiting. It's been like an hour. I've just left this on. I've heard, you know, little pops and stuff here and there. It was just doing it quite consistently, and that's why I turned the camera back on, but now it stopped. So far, I've only heard pops when it's in Phono and when the volume is turned up, which would be consistent with what the customer told me. I'm waiting for it to consistently pop so I can turn the volume down and see if the pops are still there. And the reason I want to do that is the volume knob is attached directly to the preamplifier of the receiver. The Phono preamplifier is attached directly to the preamplifier. If you watch my video on how a receiver works, you'll understand that the signal for Phono starts in the Phono preamp, makes its way to the receiver's preamp, and then makes its way to the volume knob. So if you are able to turn the volume down and an issue goes away, that means the issue exists prior to the volume knob, because the volume knob is basically a variable resistor, and when it's set to 0, it's at a very high resistance. Nothing is going to pass through it. So what happens after the volume knob is the power amplifier. The power amplifier is just a thing that will make loud whatever it gets. So whatever is coming out of the preamp, you control that level with the volume knob, and the power amplifier does whatever it will with it. If you've got the volume turned all the way down and you hear an issue, there's loud popping or whatever, the issue is almost certainly in the power amplifier. That's what I've been waiting to do, is get some consistent noise out of these speakers and see if I can change the level with the volume knob. So far I haven't been able to do it. Somehow this entire time I've been talking, nothing's happened. Well, it's the next day. I could not get the receiver to make these noises when the volume was turned down or turned to an input that wasn't phono. So there's likely a failing transistor in the phono preamplifier. So I'm going to pull the top cover and bottom cover, since the phono preamplifier is on the bottom on this receiver. I will replace the transistors and we'll see if it works. Alright, just a bunch of screws. Bottom cover comes right off. Let's see what we have here. So there's our culprit. That is the phono preamplifier board. Looks like it comes off pretty easily. We've got these little plastic guys. You just kind of slide it out, bend it back, and then you can get to the solder joints. So I think I'll get to work and remove this. I'll show you how that's done real quick. I'm going to do my best to show this and not get in the way. But, you know, again, make sure your receiver's unplugged at this point, definitely, if you haven't done it already. And all you're going to do to get these plastic things undone is you're going to kind of take some pliers. You're going to pinch the thing right here, and then kind of slide the board up. And that's how you're able to get that out. So again, we'll grab this one, pinch, pull it from below, and over here, same deal. And there you have it. So here's your 6 transistors. You know, it's a stereo receiver, so you've got a circuit for each channel here. We're going to replace all of these because they're cheap. I'm here. And if I put any of these on the tester, they'll probably all pass. And that's what's kind of fun about this stuff, is when you have an issue like this, the transistor's not always going to fail on the tester, but you'll hear it failing when you're listening to music or whatever. So I'm going to get started on this. I'll report back when I'm done. Folks, I'm seeing something I've never seen before, actually. You see what's going on there? Look at this capacitor. I noticed there was fluid under it. It looked kind of like glue, but the other one, like it, didn't have any stuff under it. And I think it's catching it on camera right now, but like, there's literally bubbles coming out of this thing right now. And I've never seen that before, actually. So I'm gonna go out on a whim and say that this capacitor needs to be replaced. Yeah, there it is. I don't think that's right. I think that needs to be replaced. So that there, folks, is a failing electrolytic capacitor. Lucky for the customer, I have these on hand. Here, let's have some fun. Let's put this thing on the fluke. Set it to capacitance, and let's see if this thing is in spec or not. There we go. Yep, that's supposed to be 330. So that's getting replaced. See, the fun never ends here at Fix It. It's always fun stuff to find out here. I don't think replacing that capacitor is going to fix the issue, because what I heard sounded like transistor. Okay, so I pulled the other one too and put it on the multimeter, and it is measuring 430 microfarad. It's a 330 microfarad capacitor, and I think they rate these to 20% tolerance, so just quick mental math in my head, I think 330 plus 20% is like, yeah, that's slightly above tolerance. So we're going to replace both, because that one's probably got a similar fate coming soon. Let's check our new 330. This one's basically ready to go right there. at 330, and the other one, same deal, very similar capacitance. So we're going to replace both. I think I'll replace the capacitors. I'll turn it back on, see if I get the issue again, and if I don't, we're going to call it good. This is why you gotta be thorough, folks. You know, I replaced these bad capacitors, well, the one bad capacitor, and the issue is still here, and I had to wait quite a while for this to happen. But now it's happening quite a bit, you know, and if I turn the volume down, it goes away. If I turn the volume back up, it comes back. Like, this is actually sending stuff through that's making the lights dim on this dial face. It's putting the receiver into protection mode. And, you know, it's just a dang good thing this thing's got a protection relay, because if you're running a SX-636 or 535, you know, your speakers are toast. There's nothing here to protect them, you know? So, I think it's pretty interesting that it's happening on both channels and not just one channel, so I don't really know what that's all about just yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace all 6 transistors. We'll see if that fixes the issue, and come back after that. And here's even further proof. Like, you know, we still got these noises. Pins 1 and 7 are your signal out on the Phono preamplifier. So, as you can see, I've got my multimeter on pin 7. That's supposed to be 0 volts, you know, and you can see it just going absolutely nuts, and it's coinciding with the sounds you're hearing. So if we go to the input of the Phono preamp over here, you know, nice 0 volts DC, right? That's what we want. So it's coming out of here. Something very bad is happening. We're gonna take care of it. Alright, so the transistors were all replaced. The C1313s were replaced with KSC 1845, and the A725s were replaced with KSA 992. Matched pairs for all 3 pairs, and I can already tell we're in better shape, because if I look at the DC voltage on the output here, you know, it's a nice solid 0. Before it was hovering around, like, you know, 10 or 20 when there wasn't a sound. And if we go here, again, nice solid 0. Okay, been listening to this thing for a minute here. Well, a little more than a minute. No more bad pops. Phono preamplifier is working, as you can see. I'll show you up close what I did here. If you never listened to Wolfpack, you should give them a listen. So here's the Phono preamplifier board. You recall earlier we saw fluid oozing out of, I think it was that one. So I replaced both of those because, you know, since the one was bad, you might as well replace the one that's right next to it, and I had 2 on hand. So that got replaced with a Nichicon PW 330 microfarad 25 volt. The originals were 6 volt. I don't keep 6 volt electrolytics around. I just buy like a 25, keep that around, and that's going to be just fine for that. And I mean, you see they're about the same size too. I think the original might be bigger actually. And then all the transistors got replaced. On these Pioneers you gotta be careful because they used transistors with a BCE pinout in most situations. Your modern KSA 992 and KSC 1845 are going to have ECB pinouts. And you can see on the circuit board, like zoom in right there, you can see they've got the pinout pattern shown right there, so that's normally correct, and that's your guide there. Not as nice as a Marantz where it says EC and B. So that's what we've got. I will put the board back in the little plastic thingies and let the customer know that they can come get this after I do another thing, which will be in another video. So thanks everyone for watching. If you got any questions about this, let me know. In the next video I'm going to talk about something pretty critical and important on this generation of Pioneer receivers. We're going to talk about the 2SC1451. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.